Crypto traders, we're going to be looking at the Fed and Powell and what he said and how it had a reaction in the dollar, crypto, and metals. A couple things to note. I'm going to be putting out a video in the near term future about our back burner trade strategy, something that started in the cryptocurrency space. It's a very simple strategy, and I'll explain it in that short video. Started in crypto, I brought it over to stocks, and it has a very high probability, so it's something that we want to get comfortable with and pay attention to. Other than that, going to be joining Alex from Nuggets News later, having a chat with him, going over some fundamentals and some technicals of some of the major coins that they are watching. So let's get right into it. So the Fed this morning and Powell saying that they have a major policy shift to average inflation targeting, looking at 2%. Personally, I'm bored by macroeconomics. I know they're important, but I cared way more what the charts were doing while he was speaking than the words that he was saying. So what happened was we initially saw a bearish reaction in the dollar with a big drop and a bullish reaction in crypto and metals. Why did we V-shape and turn around? Well, it was perfectly exemplified why we V-shaped and turned around by a couple members in our chat room having a little discussion where one person asked, okay, well, this is exactly what the market was anticipating to happen. Why is the dollar dumping and why are the metals going up? And then another member said, let's just wait and see. And everything has now balanced out. It was priced in. We had an extremely bullish day in the market yesterday led by the tech sector. And by this reaction, we can see, okay, initial bearish reaction, which is what we would expect with what Powell was saying. And then this is where a lot of traders get trapped and say, how does this make any sense? And the answer is known event. It wasn't 100% known, but probabilities were very high that this is what Powell was going to say today. And so the market was able to anticipate that and price it in accordingly. So next thing you know, we have the dollar right now back to where we were trading yesterday. And we had a big lower wick here and now a momentum shift. And it is all about daily resistance of 93.34 for me. And it's been about 94 as the most important resistance level. So that will be important to break if we see a bull move. We need follow through, but it's the inverse head and shoulders here. And if we break 93.47, that's a bull break of the right neckline. And if we break 93.91, then that's follow through breaking the left neckline. That is what we're watching in the short term because that's going to determine the short-term direction for metals and crypto, in my opinion. So look at gold. Gold with a big bull move and a complete dump. And I had a little brief moment of hesitation where gold was in the 185s, 184s, and I thought I should short gold, and I said, I'm not trading today, passed it up, and that was a mistake. But gold is still in a very tight range as well, but obviously a bearish reaction to the dollar bounce. Bitcoin, same thing. So Bitcoin went up and then gave it all back. So where Bitcoin stands is weekly consolidation is underway. Could this be a weekly bull flag? Yes, at this point, that is absolutely still a possibility. We have multiple daily inside bars to be watching. We broke bullish on reaction to the Fed initially, but obviously gave that back. If we drop down and break this short-term support here of 11,254, which just held with a double bottom, but if that level breaks, the odds of bearish continuation will increase a good bit. So right now, we don't have much bear follow-through on this daily bear flag. And again, we were viewing this as a potential little head and shoulders. We were saying that the size of this bounce, we're anticipating a daily lower high. Bear flag confirmed. Now the question is, do the bears get follow through? I would say that on the weekly time frame, as long as the bulls hold this 12 period exponential moving average, the weekly consolidation remains healthy because we've been grinding this support for many months. If we lose that level, again, it's all about retracement size. Do we retrace small enough to look for continuation, or do we retrace big enough to be looking for an equilibrium? And that remains to be seen. But that's what we're watching for. And the most important daily resistance for me, anything under 11,823, will just be a daily lower high. So the daily downtrend is going to be our guide from here. Bitcoin dominance chart. The daily chart here on TradingView is misleading. This is a bit of a fluke print. Zoom in. 4-hour time frame is in a tightening range. 61.85, 61.78, 77. Pretty much a triple top there. And we're heading back up towards that resistance zone. It will be notable if this resistance zone breaks. If Bitcoin breaks the low of support that we just looked at, and this chart breaks bullish, that means altcoins are continuing to pull back harder than Bitcoin. So that's what we're watching in the short term. ETH USD, again, daily lower highs set at 412. And look at that previous support. 412.51 is where I stopped out of my bullish position. And then we back tested that support and rejected from it as resistance and dropped to the lower low. So 412, previous support, now notable daily resistance. And it's all about the low of consolidation, 369.36. The weekly consolidation, again, still very healthy at this point. The question is, how much further follow through are we going to see from here? Can the dollar change its trend with the daily inverse head and shoulders? Can the dollar get over $94 and start a weekly oversold bounce? Because right now, crypto is seeing weekly consolidation without the dollar getting enough bounce to call it a weekly oversold bounce just yet. We're basing out, but we still haven't broken the pattern of a lower high every week, whereas crypto has broken the pattern of a higher low every week. So a little bit of a bearish inverse correlation in the sense that we've already started this weekly consolidation before the dollar has started a clear and notable weekly bounce. ETH BTC also just leveling out here. The weekly consolidation is already underway. Again, it's still healthy. There's no major red flags. We were due for weekly consolidation after the last couple months that we've had. And it's just a question of, do the bears see follow through or not? We got a support level at 3176, 3283. And short-term resistance, 3482. XTZ USD. So there's a lot of charts that are seeing notable weekly consolidation. This is no longer a bull flag possibility because of the size of the pullback. XTZ is one of those names, XLM, ADA, a handful of names where the consolidation is much more significant at this point because we've been in a clear daily downtrend. Lower high, lower low, lower high. Well, not really much of a bounce there, but multiple lower highs and lower lows where Bitcoin just had its first lower high and lower low. So that's a significant difference between the two. If we were to get to daily oversold conditions while looking for a weekly higher low, that's when bulls start to get interested. Anything above 265 is a weekly higher low. And if we were to drop down towards that level, the daily RSI would be approaching oversold. So clear daily downtrend is our guide on all of the names that fit in the category of more weekly consolidation than Bitcoin at this point. BNB USDT is holding up notably well. It hasn't been getting much attention recently with all the other flashy altcoins out there, but it's seeing healthy weekly consolidation. That's a bull flag possibility, very different than what we just saw on XTZ. So the daily time frame here, we got a little double top at 22.97. We'll just call it 23. And the bulls need to change the, really this is a 12-hour trend change attempt. Inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, there's our head to the lower low. Here's our right neckline with the double top. If we have to pull back, the bulls need a higher low compared to 21. And then a bull break of these lower highs. So how to play that is scaling in. If you think that that higher low is going to form, you scale in a couple entries on that higher low. You're using the low as your stop. And the reward out favors the risk if that does indeed end up playing out. Have to continue watching, of course, what Bitcoin is doing, but positioned better than a lot of altcoins in the short term. Link is just trading sideways. This is the 12-hour time frame. Let's go to the daily. So the daily hit a low of consolidation. The high of the bounce was 1636. This is a little higher low compared to 1284, but we're still very tight. So what I'm watching is the most important range right now is that 1284 support and 1636 resistance. We've been within that range now for 6-7 days and likely going to stay within that range a little bit longer. And watch for a volume spike to be associated with the break of that range. Weekly time frame for Link consolidation hasn't started yet officially just because we still have a higher low every week, but we have pulled back fairly considerably from the high. OMG USDT gave back a lot of that hype and momentum, pulling back pretty much 50% from that top, heading back down to test the low of support, 4-hour downtrend remaining intact. And you could look at that as a little bit of a bull break on the 4-hour that did not have any follow through. So when I see that and I say, all right, that's not as clear as I'd like it to be, and then shuffle around time frames to look for something that is a bit more clear, I'm just going to be watching the pattern of a lower high every day right now. Inside bar at the moment, but lower high every day since 7:30. And once that pattern breaks, 7:30 becomes the most important resistance, but right now the bulls are just trying to hold 478 support to find a bottom of the profit taking from the massive bull run that we just saw. LTC USD, daily downtrend confirmed just like Bitcoin. What stands out? We just dropped to the low and broke the low of Tuesday. That's notable because all the other names that we just looked at, or a lot of the other names, have not broken that low yet. So the weekly consolidation clearly underway for LTC. Support is 51.61. And I already know without looking at it, just by looking at these other charts, that the LTC BTC chart is making a bear break right now. Haven't looked at it yet. Let's see. So clear drop to lower lows. The weakness is showing us that weakness in the US dollar pairing. XRP USD, which is a bear favorite whenever the market direction shifts. Double top, rejection from resistance, and now a break of support. Weekly consolidation is underway. It's significant at this point. We're not going to be looking at continuation as the most likely scenario at this point because of the size of that pullback. We pulled back now 20% from the high. And next time we bounce, anything under 2922 is just a little lower high. And after 2672, we are in an area with a lack of support. 2439 is the next level after that. So the bears have momentum on a handful of these names, XRP and LTC, which are clear bears in this summer. They made a laggard sector move up that was fairly short-lived. They did play catch-up for a period of time, but now they're fading back again and reestablishing themselves as some of the lead bears. So that's worth paying attention to. So to wrap it up, weekly consolidation is differentiating altcoins right now, and the size of the pullback that we've seen. Some names still potentially favoring continuation, including Bitcoin, other names pulling back significantly enough. And again, a lot of people use fib retracements to determine who's in what category. And you could say any name that hasn't pulled back more than 38.2% could still be favorable for continuation, and any name that's pulling back 45+% is then starting to favor an equilibrium. So I don't really use those Fibonacci. I don't draw them out, but visually that's what my brain is recognizing as far as how much that pullback has taken place. So keep an eye out for the other content coming down the pipeline, but I appreciate your attention. Do good things, and we'll see you in the near-term future. Fig trees are way more established than they were when I planted them in the last fall. So excited to see what they look like over the next few years as they get real big. Shout out to TheChartGuys members Josh, who's been getting his side hustle on by helping me out. So he did this prepping the greenhouse for winter crops. I'm going to put a bunch of greens and lettuce and collards in here to be able to last through the winter and stay pretty warm. Big green, little purple, little orange, and little yellow. I'm excited for this one. This is Sweet Annie's. It's one of my favorite scents from the garden. And they just get these big flowery leaves. And it's a great leaf to dry and stick inside. I wish I could share the smell, but it's the kind of thing you want to plant all around the perimeter of your house.